Hey everybody, this is Craig Faniani from the Sacramento Jazz Education Foundation. And this is kind of a special commentary. Now that we've seen the first couple of sets of ear training, I wanted to give a little insight if I could. So now that we've gotten our feet wet, let's see where we're headed. Here's a chart that gives you an idea of the scope and sequence that we're going to follow for the 10 sets of melodies. If you breeze through a set, go to the next one. If you struggle, stay there until you feel really comfortable with that level of difficulty. Typically, the biggest hurdles are large skips, especially if they don't start on the root, multiple measures, makes sense if you have more to listen to, it's more to remember, accidentals, of course, and starting on a different pitch than the root. For example, in sets 3 and 8. Set 9 takes you to different keys, but the reference and starting pitches match. Set 10 does both, varied starting pitches and different keys. Takes agile ears to swim through these waters. I generated these sets from my own learning progression and decades of teaching. It made sense to me to do them in this order. Your approach may vary, and that's fine. Everybody should probably. After listening back to the 50 melodies and the 10 sets of dictation, I wanted to share things I noticed in my own auditory process. You will undoubtedly develop your own system along the way. We're all wired differently. This skill is as important as it is elusive, but remember, you're simply trying to identify sounds in context using whatever mechanisms or methods you can muster. So, take it seriously and listen deeply with intent. Here are 10 things to keep in mind. Number 1, notes just don't float in the air. They're attached to something. The key, the notes, before and after, it's about relationships and context. How many times have I said that? Number 2, see an image in your mind of a keyboard or a xylophone and use it to calibrate distance. It's really good if you're sitting in front of one of those, and it's really, really good if you learn to play a mallet or a key instrument because you can see that distance right in front of you. 3, pretend you're playing on your own instrument. You probably have developed pitch sense to a degree as you try to hear the next note on the page. The visual and slides, fingers, keys, whatever, are part of your process, so use that. Number 4, use pause, rewind, and play to go back and catch a phrase multiple times. It's really satisfying when the notes lock in to your mind's ear. Number 5, sing the reference pitch. And as I've always said, sing every chance you get. Number 6, keep your ears agile and ready for what comes next. Number 7, for fun, go to the answers and sight sing them. Then sight sing the whole set, especially sets 3, 9, and 10, because they have different starting notes. So you have to end one and then find out where the next one starts just by using your ears and the context from what you just created. Number 8, notice that there is a blank screen during the listening time. This helps avoid distraction. Number 9, sets 9 and 10 are quarter note equals 40. They're much slower, so take your time. Number 10, listen to the big picture and small picture. See the range and the individual notes simultaneously to develop your ear agility. Here are more things to listen for. Inversions of major and minor chords show up all the time. Set 2.4 has a second inversion major triad at the beginning. Set 2.5 has a first inversion major triad at the end. Here they are. For set 3.1 and 8.2, listen to the reference pitch, then hear the first note of the melody. Pause, then start again. You want to make sure you go from that reference pitch to that starting pitch and lock into that interval right away. For set 4.1, identify the root position minor triad. It'll help you. Set 4.2, learn to identify chromaticism. It sounds like this. 4.3, hear the lower neighbors. A lot of times you'll hear upper or lower neighbors. Figure out if they're half steps or whole steps. For 4.5 and 5.5, scales weave in and out of and include chord tones. That's about all we have, really, are scale tones and chord tones. So lock into the scales, lock into the chords. Try to pick out tritones. 6.4, minor seconds, 6.5, and major seventh, 7.2. Also try to throw the modes in. If you hear that minor second and are familiar with Phrygian and Locrian, that minor second will help you a lot. And then listen for mingling major and minor tonality. Here's 8.2. Here's a big fat minor scale in 9.2. Always keep the root and chord tones in your mind. All of the other notes are only a step or half step away. Check out 10.1. Now with just the chord tones. In 10.3, the melody outlines the 1-2-5-1 chord progression in E flat. Notice by using inversions, the top note of each phrase outlines the 5, 6, 7, and 8 of the scale. We'll do more singing and hearing chords in the next lesson. I hope this helps. For now, this is Craig Faniani signing off for the Sacramento Jazz Education Foundation. Thanks again for listening.